The Unwanted Answers, recurring cast madness bracket that no one asked for.
Wow. Look at all those. Look at all of those people.
So this is 16 of the recurring special guests that we love, and they're going head to head. And it's kind of unusual for the people, kind of betting on the bracket to be deciding major things like this. But I feel like there are two ways that we could go about this. Two visions I had. One is just the very simple, which guest do we like more? Who's more legendary? And deciding that in each matchup. The other idea I had was, what if we make them all just 1v1 fisticuffs fight each other?
Oh,
Like
who
who
would
would
win?
win? And so let's zoom us in. Without too many spoilers, let's zoom us into our first matchup.
Yes.
And here's where I'm gonna release that pin from earlier. In sports, in March Madness, which is college basketball,
Yes.
A sport which I have 1% more knowledge than everything else, and everything else is 0%, by the way. So 1% knowledge compared to 0% because I played basketball in middle school.
Yes, you had a special talk with the coach, right?
Yeah, I always. I wonder, have we brought that up on this before?
I think so,
The coach did come to me, and I believe one or two other people, and say, like, do you really want to do this?
You're like, come on, coach, tag me in. I can do it.
And they were sort of surprised that I was like, yeah, I like to it. I'm having fun. And it was just like, really? Are you sure you don't want to quit? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to just get out of my life?
That's the pep talk we need.
But anyway, in a March Madness bracket, the way it typically goes, and this has always been so confusing to me, like such a weird, cruel thing to me. I don't understand why it's done this way, but the way it always works is that the different teams are seeded, and number one seed is the team with the best record, considered the most likely to win the whole thing. The lowest seed is the team with the worst record and is considered the biggest long shot, the most unlikely to win the whole thing. And the first game, again, this is crazy to me, is the first seed versus the last seed. How is that?
Yes.
How is that fair? It's a weird thing in sports to me.
Yes.
The first game is just supposed to be an absolute blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, the 1 year I ever participated in a March Madness bracket, I voted purely on how much I liked their logo.
Well, that's how to do it.
The team I had going all the way was like the last seed, just happened to be the one I thought had the best logo. And it was like the biggest upset in the history of the biggest upset was game one. The lowest seed beat the highest seed. It was completely unexpected. The highest seed was out. And
wow.
I was number one through the entire company that did this, like hundreds and hundreds of people. I was number one for that week. By the end, because they immediately got out right after that, by the end, I was like in the lowest 6 of the entire company.
Wow.
Like I had one of the worst brackets in the entire company. But for that 1 week, it looked like I knew something.
Yes. You were just like, I am the basketball genius.
Yeah. But so that was all to say, I placed them. I decided to seed them in like how kind of legendary I see that character in our canon. And so I think the number one most legendary character in our canon, and I'm sorry, I'm calling them characters because I like to call them characters because they're fun and kooky characters that we know in our actual,
like the Addams family.
Yeah, we know them in our real lives, like Huck, the Prospector.
Yes. By the way, as I look at this list, I should probably add some more. I don't think there's some I have on the list that, as we play the game, I'll add to the list to make sure I remember them.
Yeah. Oh, I have a running list on our shared Google Doc.
Oh, okay.
Is uh surprising. So 16 is the number of like teams in March Madness, I think. Um, that happens to be about like there are maybe a couple really like I don't even know if, but as you'll see, Oswald is. I don't even know if you remember who this is.
He's the organ,
Yeah,
the
he's the
blood
blood. He's
collector.
the blood collector. So yes.
Yes.
Um, so that's why like our most recent guest is kind of our last here.
Yes.
So our first matchup is going to be Huck the Prospector. You know him and love him. He's
Yes.
big. He's the biggest fan of Adam Sandler and Kevin James. He loves a good poop or pee or vomit or
Yes.
or booger. He loves
Oh, yes.
prospecting for them boogers.
Yeah, that's his favorite thing to prospect for.
Yeah, he digs for gold in two
Yeah.
ways.
You know, some people play with Play-Doh growing up, but he would have like a snot collection that he
Yeah.
would grab from tissues.
And you know what's funny? We call him Huck the Prospector. I feel like being a prospector is like a pretty involved, like intelligent job. And I've never like acknowledged that before.
I feel like he's there because of nepotism or something.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
He's someone's nephew.
And then he is someone's net. Well, he has great we know his great uncle is kind of a weird guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Oswald the Blood Collector
That's right.
is somehow still around, but he performed the first ever blood transfusion.
Was it coincidence that, well, you know, I just noticed, was it coincidence or was it on purpose that Huck's thing is brown?
Oh no, I did that.
His is red.
No, I did. All the color, there was thought behind all the colors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for this first matchup, we're gonna decide who moves on and then we'll see who makes it to the end. What seems more interesting to you? We'll decide now what we're gonna do for all of them. Do you want to imagine that they're going head to head and trying to figure out a way to best each other to see who wins? Or do you want to just say, which one has our heart more, I guess?
Which one? I don't know. I guess I'll leave it up to you to decide which one.
You see I think the thing with the second one is that it may be like the order I kind of put it in, and I thought that the outcome might be a little bit more predictable. The other one is like I have no clue. I haven't thought about who would win. Okay, I think that first one might be more interesting. We could do this dumb game again some other time and with a different premise or different characters that come up. But so like to think through who would best the other in a one-on-one. So the way I'm thinking of this is like Oswald obviously is kind of a sketchy guy. We don't really know what his deal is, but it seems like he might be collecting blood, and that's weird.
As well as other organs we don't know about.
Yeah, but we don't know necessarily that the way he's getting it is violent. Even if he's getting it,
he could just be just like going to like funeral homes and just stealing them.
And I personally imagined him as like a very lanky, like hunched over man who's like very thin and pale.
Yes. Almost like in another life, he could have almost been named Hugo or something, like a mad scientist assistant.
He definitely brushed elbows with like Igor in the so we don't know necessarily that he packs strength. Now Huck definitely has some strength to him because he mines. But the thing is, you got to also think about like, so Oswald, no offense, might have a higher IQ. I mean, I'm pretty sure he won like a Nobel Peace Prize or something. And
yes, he did.
Yeah, but Huck, even though when he doesn't have an IQ, he has in props because he could fling poo.
Yes, he has his own special abilities. He also has multiple smells coming from him too.
That's true. And so like I'm imagining Oswald trying to take blood from Huck to drain him dry, and Huck would just have to swing his pickaxe, which he coated, like he basically, like, this is what I imagine Huck's move is to win the whole duel. he picks his nose and stuffs a booger in his face in almost a way that's almost like blowing sand in someone's eyes.
Oh, yes.
Like, so he disorients Oswald and then swings with a pickaxe, knocking Oswald out.
Yes, maybe once Oswald's knocked completely off, like Huck will sneeze on his face.
Yeah, and they're like Pokemon knocked out to be perfectly resurrected later. No one's dying today.
No one will die today.
Yes, but that
Huck, I think
Huck
is
moves
in
on.
the best likely option to win.
Yeah, so we're moving Huck on to the next round. And then we're going down, and we got another interesting matchup here. The Captain and Unabomber Santa. So, we have some duos in our canon here.
Yes.
Captain and the Skipper is one of them, and it feels strange to have them separate, but they are their own people, and it wouldn't be fair to do 2 versus 1.
Exactly. Yeah, 2 versus 1, then they're obviously winning. Unless they can't see eye to eye.
Yeah. And this matchup's interesting because it almost makes me imagine that the Captain somehow accidentally washed up on shore of the North Pole. And
he got lost, and he thinks he's like he thinks he's in Florida, but he doesn't realize he's at the North Pole.
Florida's cold this time of year. Yeah.
That's what happens when he doesn't have the skipper. He goes into the wrong areas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Florida's so cold this time of year.
Yeah, this is the one time he's without the skipper, and he's just like, "Oh, what's that? Is that a big pole, huh? White and red, like stripes."
Huh. Oh, it reminds me of the candy canes back home. I wonder if it's minty. What are you doing out here? Look at my home. Oh, are you like the witch from Hansel and Gretel, just making your home out of candy?
He takes out a gumdrop and and the gumdrop starts making this noise. And Captain's like, "Oh, that sound almost reminds me of throwing grenades off the ship into the depths of the sea."
Oh, you wouldn't know it, but me and my best friend Skipper get into quite some mischief sometimes. Unabomber Santa's like, "Do you understand? When you took that candy off my house, you destroyed the insulin. Now all the cold's coming out, going into my home, and it was nice and toasty."
Do you understand that the North Pole is a what's it called? What's that law called where it's a something state. It's
stand your ground.
Stand your ground laws. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, don't you understand the North Pole's a stand your ground territory?
Oh, I wouldn't know. Usually I'm out on the sea where there is no ground. Well, when you are here, you abide by the land laws, and I am the law of the land.
Oh, well, I'm the captain, and round the boat, I'm the law of the land.
I'm the captain of the boat, and that means I'm the captain of 75% of the globe.
Here's the thing about this is the biggest thing about this matchup that makes me lean one way. Unabomber Santa, first of all, is so strapped out that you would think he would win. Then again, Captain is too in the sense that he has a ship and defense mechanisms in that sense. But here's the thing.
Everything.
Yeah, here's the thing that makes me lean Captain is that he's like a Mr. Magoo avoiding danger. He does not get hit.
Nothing scares the Captain. He just is fine. He will go into so many things. He will constantly be at death, so close to death.
Yeah.
But nothing hurts him. He just constantly. It's like a matchup between the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote versus the Unabomber.
Exactly it. The Captain
he will have all these things that backfire on him. Unabomber Santa.
Because imagine he throws that gumdrop grenade. It'll just bounce off the Captain's head. His hat will fly, and he go, "Oh, looks like you made me hat fly off. Well, I'm gonna come take your pointy hat off now." And he thinks it's just a game, and meanwhile, the gumdrop blew up in Unabomber Santa's face.
Yes. He's like just lying in the snow, and the Captain comes back. "Oh, all right, tired out from the game, eh? Oh, you remind me of my best friend, the Skipper."
Yeah. He's always talking about how much Unabomber Santa reminds him of the skipper.
Yes.
So for that reason, that the captain doesn't seem to be bested, no matter how oblivious he might be.
Yes.
I feel like that makes him move on.
Yes.
Which brings us to the skipper and Fluffy. The skipper's like, I need to practice shoving people. I'm going to practice by shoving this cute little hamster off this ledge, off the counter. Yeah, it should be easy.
Aye, and then one day I'll finally get up the nerve to finally kill the captain. Fluffy will be like, so you can't kill the captain, eh? Well, you try your best on me, buddy pal.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna try the best with Fluffy, huh?
Yeah, you're about to eat these 2 millimeter by 2 millimeter square fisticuffs. And reminder, Fluffy is my pet hamster that was lost and became hardened out in the wilderness for decades and is still around.
Yes. So, and Skipper's just like, hey, finally nice to be the big guy around for once instead of the short little one. Fluffy's just like, that's not fair. You got the other advantage. That ain't fair. Hey, you'll see what's fair as you drown at the bottom of me toilet, eh? Swirling and swirling as I keep flushing, eh?
The thing is, he would flush Fluffy down, and Fluffy would just come back covered in water, with little claws ready to dig at the soft part of the back of Skipper's head.
Yeah, Fluffy would jump out. He would rip open. It's almost like he kind of, when you really anger Fluffy, he kind of turns into the Hulk, and like he rips off like the shoelace.
You don't want to see me when I'm angry.
Yeah. All right, buddy boy. Now you're gonna get extra hairy with Fluffy's fists. What are you talking about? Watch these. And then like Fluffy bites and everything.
Yeah. And I hate to do it because I honestly, there's a possibility in another world I think Skipper is potentially like the funniest character to me in the entire, like, of all of our friends. But
and I think honestly, in almost any matchup, he could win.
Yeah, but I think Fluffy wins this.
Fluffy, look, it's been 20 years. Fluffy has been training, and you know what? He'll fight dirty.
Yeah, he is not afraid to fight. Like, he's a survivor. That's the thing.
Yeah, like he'll bite Skipper's ear off and be like, you've been Tyson, Skipper.
Yeah.
Oh, my ear. How will I ever hear now?
Yeah, because he could dig in. He could really get into the hole because he's got such teeny little mouth, teeny little teeth. He's a little adorable button face.
That's right. Enjoy listening to those waves without surround sound, Skipper.
Yeah. So here's an interesting one because we've got producer Paul, who we're not really aware of what he's capable of all the time.
Yes, we know we're scared of him, but
yeah, and cousin Clyde, which is Huck's cousin, who got a lobotomy.
Yeah, he was the smartest of his family, and then he got lobotomized.
That's right. Now, I don't know. My gut's telling me this is a pretty easy matchup because one of them gives me abject fear and deep in my soul.
The other one is just kind of just there.
Yeah, I feel like cousin Clyde, like he's well-meaning. He's a great soul. He's maybe one of the kindest-hearted people in of everyone we know here. But unfortunately, I think that this is kind of an easy one.
Yes. Maybe he wouldn't scare cousin Clyde, but he would do some damage, and then Clyde would be like, "Okay, I'll walk away now."
Yeah. So, okay, and that's it for that. That's it for the west side of all of this.
Yes.
We've got 4 on that side. Now let's move to the other side. Now here's a big one. Babyface Antonio,
Antonio
versus the
the
starving,
starving
artist.
artist.
Now that's an interesting matchup.
You almost wonder, like, what could lead them into fighting.
Well, I actually do know that, like, one thing that like the starving artist, I wouldn't be surprised if they got like desperate and tried to get into like black market art trading,
Yes.
like trying to sneak their pieces in with other like black market pieces. Like, oh, I don't have a Leonardo, but I do have we don't know who this is, but it's apparently it's clearly a great artist.
Yes.
And it's worth $2 million. And maybe in those like seedy, like alleyway trades, Babyface Antonio is met.
Yes. And maybe it was like Babyface Antonio feels like he screwed him over on a deal with one of those counterfeit pictures. Like
Yeah.
So, Mr. Artist, I thought we had a fair understanding. You sell the fake stuff to all your customers, but with me, I get the real thing. Oh, Babyface Antonio, I try my best with this little crayon. That's all I have left. Yeah, but here's the thing. You painted a picture of my mother for Mother's Day, and I gotta say, it looks like you colored a little bit outside the lines. It's abstract. It's art. If I wanted art, I'd go to some real artist. You were supposed to paint a portrait of Mother, and the fact that you tried to make it abstract, it makes me think that maybe I should have my boys here. Yeah, maybe break your thumbs to give you a little bit of a lesson.
Or he's like,
my thumbs are all I have left. I constantly suck on them at night because I have no food.
or what if he's like, hey, artist, yeah, you didn't get back to me on that payment. So I think it's time that I ask for a commission from you. That's right. Your first commission. I want a self-portrait of you, Mr. Artist. And this one is not going to have a nose, you see? It's not cut off with a pair of craft scissors.
Oh, yes. That's right. and what's that? What is it you want me to draw in the background for my self-portrait? Yeah, maybe it could be your sister's house on fire, because if you don't do a great job, maybe I'll have my boys come pay your sister a little visit, and maybe she can be homeless like you. Bada bing, bada boom. So make sure you get the picture right this time.
That's right. I mean, I think Babyface Antonio is like a force to be reckoned with and will be hard to beat in this entire bracket.
Yes.
So I think that's...
I could see him going a long way.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know how Starving Artist puts up a fight here.
I mean, he can't, because maybe he'll try to give like a punch or something, and like his hand just turns into dust because it's so just deteriorating.
So next one, we've got two people who probably haven't had jobs in a while.
That's true.
That's right. It's Uncle Al of Uncle Al and Aunt Ash fame.
Yes.
Versus Now, Uncle Al's getting to be an old man. He's getting up there.
He is. He's been Uncle Al for a while.
Yeah, and his liver is done enough. Well, he actually has the healthiest liver that his doctor's ever seen, come to think of it. That's right.
They're so confused about how he's still alive.
He's a medical marvel.
Yes.
So that's actually a point in his favor.
For the years to come.
But, you know, he does need substance to continue going on, and that's maybe in Unemployed Actor's favor. Now, Unemployed Actor could, he's played lots of roles. He could play a gladiator or something. He could use it as an opportunity, but the thing is he's only got access to prop weapons.
Yes, little plastic swords that if you try to stab someone, like the sword just goes in to like the other part. It's not real. And he has like prop guns that make sound, that maybe don't even make sound effects. He has to make the sound himself. He has like an old like pistol from like the 1800s, but he'll go pew 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 like in Star Wars.
Yeah. And I mean, Uncle Al could just simply break a bottle, and he's got sharp glass coming his way.
Maybe I could almost imagine like like the way
freezing again. Okay, I think you're back. I think you're back. Okay. You're back.
Unemployed Actor tries to get a head start in the battle, but he goes to Uncle Al's trailer. And he goes, Uncle Al! I'm afraid that I had to attack early for you. What are you talking about? I had to attack your motivation. What is the one thing that motivates you in life? No, don't tell me you did not. Oh, yes, Uncle Al, I had to go and throw out all the beers you had left in the trailer. They're all gone. And I gave them to the homeless shelter across the street. Those bums got my beer.
Why are they even accepting that there?
He smashes the beer. You just made an enemy. Christopher the Unemployed Actor. And like Uncle Al tackles him.
Yeah.
And like some of the security guards were saying like, Uncle Al, it's okay. We'll buy you more beer. He has to die for what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one where I think that he might not make it out alive.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I mean, on the other hand, it's possible that Uncle Al might be waking up from a nap and just think that the prop gun is real, and that might throw him off his game. But I don't know. At the end of the day, Uncle Al's got more experience, more lethal weaponry,
yes,
and more to lose. That's actually the biggest thing. Is Uncle Al has a lot to lose.
Yeah, Christopher the Unemployed Actor really has nothing to lose, but Uncle Al,
yeah,
he has one thing in this world that makes him happy. And, maybe also the one thing that really throws Uncle Al over the edge is that the last bottle of beer Christopher gave to Mr. Whiskers in his milk bowl, and you see Mr. Whiskers just drinking it so happy and drunk.
You're not even appreciating the rich flavors.
Look at him just drinking it without having it go through his mouth and gargle and spit it out. That's how you drink a beer.
Yeah. So Uncle Al takes that one. Next, weird matchup. Aunt Ash, of course,
Henry Anglin.
And Henry Anglin. So you know, it's kind of interesting. The Henry Anglin might even see Aunt Ash as his mother figure in a strange way. Both Aunt Ash and Henry Anglin, which is Henry Anglin's mother, that is, who I think is Rachel Anglin. Both of them kind of have this withholding affection from loved ones kind of thing.
Yeah, they're kind of like from the same generation.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like, well, Henry Anglin is, I don't know if I'd say a hardened criminal. He is.
I would say in his criminal career, he's not the best criminal.
Mm-hmm. He's not even good enough criminal to break out of Alcatraz.
Exactly. So. His brothers did so easily.
Yeah. And so, yeah, his brothers escaped and he's kind of stuck there. He's kind of the lame duck, the black sheep of the family.
Yes.
And even though he hypothetically has, like, he is willing to go the extra mile, he's willing to do whatever it takes to win, it never works out for him.
Oh, exactly.
And Aunt Ash, I feel like, would just kind of be able to, like, shame him, make him feel bad into submission, really.
Yeah. Aunt Ash is like, come on, you think you can go up against me? And Henry's just like, please, I'm trying my best. Just leave me alone. Don't hurt me. I'll go back to Alcatraz. I'll do it. You think don't hurt me.
And so for that reason, I'm moving Aunt Ash on.
Yes.
Now, here's a big one. This is, well, he goes by Tyler.
Yes.
But he's gifted and talented. We call him Gifted and Talented Tyler.
Yes.
He was a special boy who was told he was gifted and talented his whole life. And is wondering
he still
what
lives by that term every day.
And then we have Numbers Guy.
Oh,
who is a guy who really loves numbers.
He loves numbers so much.
Yeah. This is one of the toughest ones, I think. It's like I don't know where to go with this.
Closest one, it seems, to a draw.
Yeah, because like I don't know, Gifted and Talented Tyler. Okay, so Gifted and Talented Tyler is devious. He's pulled off. He's kidnapped people before.
Yes.
So that's like, I mean, like, I can't go too deep into details for fear of litigation, but
Oh yes,
let's just say he has kidnapped 2 people before
he's done some
and
bad
held them
stuff.
hostage.
Yes,
Is also just plotted various things.
of course. He even tried to take over the show, I think, one time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that, like, laying it out, it does make it seem not as close. Because, like, Numbers Guy,
It's more simple. His only passion is with numbers.
yeah. I think my thing was thinking that Numbers Guy is one of, at least just on paper, smartest. He's a brilliant
Yes,
mathematician.
that's true.
And he's in it, he's in it for the love numbers. Like
Of course.
you gotta hand it to the guy. He has a passion with
Like,
a capital P passion for what he does.
honestly, like if Gifted and Talented Tyler was playing numbers guy hostage, and like the number 7 popped up in his like dungeon room to like give him like, here's a little bit of food to help you die, so make sure you don't die. And numbers guy like, oh, I didn't know there'd be numbers here. Ooh, maybe this won't be as bad as I thought. Maybe you would come by a little earlier and we could share a little snack if you want.
Or maybe there's like because Gifted and Talented Tyler would be someone who would like almost build like just a elaborate, almost like serial killer-esque room that you
Yes.
can't escape from. And so you'd probably build this complicated security system, and then there'd be a code that only he would be able to figure out on a secret number pad that no one else can see. And so when he comes into the room, he's tied Numbers Guy up. He there's a dangling light bulb above his head.
Yes.
And he's blindfolded. And he goes to the corner of the room. He's just like, yes, I've got you right where I want you, and I'm going to extract all the information I need to take from you to take down that damned podcast. And he goes to leave the room.
Yeah.
And he kind of secretly boop, 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 puts in the code. And after he leaves, Numbers Guy is sitting there going, oh, he thinks I couldn't tell the delicate curves of the 8, the emptiness of the 0.
Every number makes its own special sound when you press their buttons. Ooh.
Yes, and that playful poke at the end of the 7.
Yes.
And at the top of the 1, at least the way I like to draw them.
That's right. And he's just like, it'll be like, oh, it will be my, like, the pad is just like, are you gonna try and punch your way out of here? Oh, it would be my pleasure to push your buttons.
Oh, and at last, I'm so happy to meet you again, just like it was at the beginning in 8.
The scary thing is like he'll put in the code, and he'll be about to leave. He'll be like, "Well, this was quite a pleasure. Punching your buttons," and she'll be like, "Do you have to leave so soon?" Oh, I suppose I can stay for a little bit longer. And she'll be like, "I like that. You're worth getting caught again for." And then I get to tell the child, like, he'll walk in and be like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, I'd just be like, oh, let me get information from Henry England. I don't know anyone.
Gifted child to the child, be like, numbers guy, where'd your clothes go? Oh, we got a little way to pushing the buttons. I'm sorry. I'll go get a blanket. No, just leave my dungeon. I can't deal with this. This of all the people to kidnap, you were the worst one. Can I at least take the keypad with me? No, it came with the house. I don't feel like ordering another one. And he'll look at it. I guess this is our chance to say goodbye. And he just kisses all the buttons. I'm like, stop kissing the buttons. You're getting them all unsanitary.
You know, it's
I'll always remember you, dial bad. I'll remember you too, numbers guy.
so this is interesting. It's almost like I don't know where it leaves us, because in a way, Numbers Guy is like wishing to stay
Yes.
He wishes to lose so he can stay there. But I think the intellectual besting is from Numbers Guy,
Yes.
which is kind of an upset. I guess
Yes.
Gifted and
I
Talented
didn't know which
Tyler.
way it was going to go,
Yeah.
but it did go in Numbers Guy favor.
Yeah, and I am sad to say that means Gifted and Talented Tyler once again struck out in the first round. Like it turns out he wasn't all that talented in this case.
Right now, he's listening to be like, "You will regret this. I am gifted and talented. I should be the finalist."
And that's what we hear as we come all the way back to. We are now in the top 8.
Oh boy.
We're in the next phase of this, and this is where we decide between. Oh boy, I mean, it's really going to get dicey here because we're deciding between.
It's going to get tougher.
Yeah, we're deciding between Huck and the captain.
Yes, who would win?
Yeah, 2 people who are, they're career men. Well, one of
Yes.
them is sailing the seas, and one of them is mining the mines. And but
Yes.
although Huck would really say his career is at home with his hobbies.
Yes, whether it's on the toilet with, well, he doesn't use tissues, with his nose up his finger, with his finger up his nose.
Yes. Tissues just
So,
kind of
you know, when you look at both of these, they will come out of this battle having had fun, both of them, and they'll be like, "When are we
Yeah.
going to do this again?" Oh, Huck, that was such a great battle.
They'd really get along, yeah.
We gotta do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough because they'd really get along, and I'm trying to think. Although I feel like Huck would I think the captain would almost get more out of it because he would be very amused by Huck.
Yes, he would be like, "Oh, look at smell all the different smells. Look at all the feces on the walls and on the floor."
Yeah. I mean, like, to Huck, the captain is just kind of like a boring old man who doesn't remind him at all of Adam Sandler.
Exactly. So,
although captain could be like, Huck, what you could help me do since Skipper's out is you could scrub the poop deck.
the deck off a poop.
There's a poop
that's
deck.
right. That's right, Huck. You can be the skipper for the day. And when this is all done, Skipper comes back to the boat and he hears Captain say, "Oh, Huck, you're the best skipper a captain could ask for." And Skipper's like, "Are you serious, Captain? I've been swapping the poop deck for 23 years. Not once have I gotten a compliment." "Oh, but Skipper, you don't do it like Huck does. It's a passion in his eyes. Don't you see the love of the poop? Every little scrape, he gives a little smell and goes,
Can't you see that?
Wee.
Can't you see that brown sparkle in his eyes?"
Captain, I think that's just from drinking all the salt water." "Oh, no, Skipper. It's one thing that Huck has that you don't have, passion. That's why in my will, when I die, he'll be captain." "Hey, means I gotta kill 2 of you jerks." "What was that, Skipper?" "Oh, nothing, Captain. Oh, nothing. Nothing. Always glad to sail the 7 seas with you, Captain." Was you know, the ocean's really just the world's biggest toilet. Wait, I
Think
love
all
this
it-
guy, Skipper. Really has a positive outlook on life. "Hey, Captain, I, man, reminds me that my life is nothing but full of shit."
Wait, now that's funny.
Wait, that's just like my life. "Hey, Captain, I."
Well, we know who lost this, and that's the skipper.
Yes,
But
even when he's not competing, he still loses.
is hey, salt in the wound.
What you gonna want to do is pee in that wound. "Hey,
Sterilize it.
Aye, Huck, aye. How long is this boat trip, aye? Would love to steer into an iceberg and just get it over with, aye." Wait, we played Titanic. I want to be the one to pose naked for the drawing. Wait. "Oh, Skipper, you were always a little gifted artist. How about you draw our buddy Huck here?" Captain I like the stink lines too. To remind me of how horrible this day has become. Oh, Skipper, look at you, the little gifted artist. Remember when you had that chance to go to arts class, but you decided to sign up and be a skipper? Hey, Captain so many regrets because I listened to me mother. Hey, stable career, she said. Lots of room for advancement, hey. But not until you sink it, jerk.
So yeah, it's funny because in a way the captain and Huck both win because they found a new friend, but
Yes, they did.
I've been it's the hardest matchup yet to me. I had to think
Yes.
really hard, but here's ultimately what I've come down to. And if you disagree, we can duke it out and figure that out. But what I'm thinking, and this is an upset, but what I'm thinking is in this conversation, in a way, the captain has kind of made Huck another skipper.
That's true.
And that means that the captain comes out on top.
Yes, he does. Because Huck would work for the captain. He got Huck to sweep the poop deck.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of a point towards the captain.
Yes. Now, right before, I would have said, obviously, it's going to be Huck.
Yeah.
But yes, I do see it is the captain.
Yeah, I know. This is a thrilling, like, captain goes to the final four. It's incredible.
Yes.
Oh,
boy.
We've got Fluffy and producer Paul. Both of them are
your
hardened
pet
in their own ways.
And your boss.
Yeah. This is going to be, I'm going to be walking on thin ice here. Much like Fluffy that first winter when we couldn't find him and he was out lost in the wilderness during the cold Midwest winter.
I just thought of something. Maybe it's because it's purple. This movie's such a I just thought it takes such a dark turn.
Oh.
Because he's purple. So Paul is just like, Paul is kind of like the Thanos of this whole thing. So maybe Fluffy is just like, hey, producer Paul, you were making life tough for my former owner? Well, put up your dukes. And then Paul just grabs Fluffy by the neck and squeezes, kind of like Thanos did to Loki in Avengers Infinity War. And then he holds him and goes, no resurrections this time.
Oh, no. Well, you say that, but the thing is, producer Paul, he works from the shadows.
He does.
And I
He
don't
likes to
know.
hide in the shadows.
I don't know that I can picture him. Period. I don't know if I can picture him. Period. But
yeah, we don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah, but I have a harder time picturing him taking initiative, moving in, and making an attack on a small creature. Like he would work in more threatening ways. Like he works in psychological torture.
Yes.
And like Fluffy's off the grid. Yes. He doesn't have a cell phone, And so I think Fluffy would win the war of attrition through tiny physical attacks, while Paul is failing to win through psychological attacks.
It could be a really messed up thing he could do. So Fluffy, he lives like underground and everything. He comes back to his house, to his hole in the ground, and he's just like, "What? Has someone been here?" And he sees pictures of you with your cat Fido.
Yeah,
it's spewed all around, and there's a video screen of you going, "I love you, Fido. You are the best thing that's ever happened to me." And Fluffy goes,
yeah, it's the worst
thing. The hair off his chest.
But would that be his defeat, or would that be his moment of breaking?
Or is it his breaking point where he finally has had enough?
Now he burrows straight into producer Paul's skull at that point to be temporarily knocked out and then brought to health perfectly by a nurse.
Yes, and maybe it's in a way it's kind of a draw, but yet Paul is the one who retreated first.
That's true. And this is crazy. This is another upset, but I think we might be seeing Fluffy move on to the final four.
Fluffy's going up.
Wow. Okay. Next
wow.
in our 8, I mean, I don't know how this is gonna go. We've got the old and the young. The young being
Yes.
Babyface Antonio versus Uncle Al.
Yes.
One of them deals with someone who smokes cigarettes all the time,
That's
and the
true.
other one smokes candy cigarettes all the time.
Yes.
Or like baby cigars. Cigars made for babies.
Yes.
Um
And also maybe Tootsie Rolls or pretzel sticks or something.
Yeah. You know, the thing, Babyface Antonio deals with incompetent adults all the time.
Yes. You could almost imagine like Uncle Al sometimes goes to Babyface Antonio to like get Aunt Ash like Cuban cigars or something.
Yeah.
And like Babyface Antonio be like, yeah, where's my payments, Uncle Al? Oh, listen, I promise you I will get the payments. But you know what? If I don't, I will put up my beloved pussycat, Mr. Whiskers, as collateral. And if I don't make a payment, then you can keep Mr. Whiskers,
Which
my
I
beloved
would
pussycat.
hate. I would be devastated.
Look at that cat. He's at death's door. I want that cat. But look at him. He's adorable. Just look at him coughing up that hairball like he's coughing up a lung. He reminds me of my grandmother who had to take off life support last month. Well, just help the family grow. Yeah, I don't think so, Uncle Al. Here's the thing. You either make your payments, or you know your favorite beer company? Yeah. Yeah, you might see have a few accidents at the plant where they're not able to get out their beer on time. You wouldn't dare. You would not dare. Oh, wait until Uncle Al. Make the payments and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. This late you expect it to be closer. But
Yes.
Babyface Antonio is a force to be reckoned with, and I think
he's so violent.
I think he moves on.
Yes.
That's another, like I said, a contender for the whole thing. I mean, Babyface Antonio's ruthless.
Yes.
Wow.
He's so violent. He's so violent for such a young age.
Yeah. Well, let's see. This is the last of the 8. Another odd matchup, but any
Aunt
matchup
Ash
with
and
numbers
Numbers
guy is
Guy.
odd. We've got Numbers Guy and
Yes.
Aunt Ash. He always knows exactly how many cigarettes she has left.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what has she got on him. I mean, because Numbers Guy is one we really didn't think was a threat in the last round, and he
Right,
ended
but he
up
found a way.
Yeah, he ended up coming through because he always is working his way in, finding those numbers. Aunt Ash, like Uncle Al, has fantastic.
Her weakness is her love for cigarettes.
Yes, but like she also her weakness is her strength, because like think of all the years she had to train her lungs to be at full capacity.
Yes.
Her lungs are the superhuman strong lungs.
It's almost like you could imagine like one way she could like actually hurt Numbers Guy is when she's like, Numbers Guy, count up my cigarettes. Oh yes, I'd be glad to. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And like he keeps counting,
Distracted.
and she goes, that's enough. What? You're done counting the cigarettes. I don't need to know how many more I got. I'll just throw them away. No, I have to keep counting. You can't stop.
Yeah.
Mid count. I have to keep going, Aunt Ash. No, we're done. I'm just gonna throw them out and buy some new ones. They're expired. You can't do this to me. I need to find out the proper number. We're talking triple digits here. Yeah, go home, Numbers Guy. No, I can't do this. I can't leave a count without finishing it.
That would they would send Numbers Guy into like a shivering like breakdown
Yes.
where you can't. Yeah, and I kind of imagined this is maybe an unfair thing because I didn't give this to anyone else, but I kind of imagined that Mr. Whiskers was tethered to Aunt Ash, and that at any point during the fight she could kind of sick Mr. Whiskers out.
That's true. I mean, she just has to show Mr. Whiskers and he'll get a nosebleed.
Yeah, he does not understand cats. They don't have the types of fingers that they can count with, like so. It just doesn't make sense. I think that actually is going to Aunt Ash,
Yes, I would too.
which is going to leave a really interesting matchup next.
Yes.
But the first, we have to decide between Captain and Fluffy.
That's right.
Oh, man. So Fluffy is a little fiery furball that cannonballs, like a cannonball, could crash straight into the captain's ship. Like
That's true.
Absolutely fierce. And the captain is not like a fierce person. So
He just needs to be slingshot. And yeah, it is kind of like a cannon that could sink the ship.
yes, but you just know that when that ship sinks, the skipper's going down with it, not the captain.
Yes.
And I can't help but like there's kind of plot armor with the captain where
Yes.
like I just don't see him losing.
Yeah, like Fluffy, it's just like, I'm sinking the ship, I'm sinking the ship. And Skipper comes out, no, you idiot, you've doomed us all to a watery death. Where's the captain? Where's the captain? He's out on the lifeboat. He's out at sea talking to a mermaid. Oh, Skipper, you should meet our friends. They're so nice. If you could just look past their deformed-looking tails.
Yeah, and
Hey, Captain.
he's like, you know my motto, the captain always goes down with the ship. I'm at this ship. Goodbye, Skipper.
Goodbye, Skipper. Goodbye, Fluffy. Take care of each other at the bottom of under the sea.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Is there anything else going in Fluffy's favor? Because I want this to be a harder matchup. I mean, Fluffy is an underdog, made it this far,
but Captain has just pure luck on his side.
He does, and like, and there's a reason for that. He's a legend, a true adventurer. He's seen the world, and he knows where not to step.
Yes.
I think that brings the captain into the final two, which
boy,
amazingly brings us to a matchup of the ages: Babyface Antonio and Aunt Ash. For a second, I actually forgot that Uncle Al didn't go through, and I thought it was going to be Uncle Al versus Aunt Ash. But no, Aunt Ash goes further, which doesn't totally surprise me. Aunt Ash
in general seems a little bit stronger than Uncle Al.
She's always had the upper hand.
Yes.
But going back to something before, I feel like Babyface Antonio just like knows how to work an adult.
He does. He'd be like, yeah, so Aunt Ash, I've been worried about your health, so maybe I thought it'd be best if we, I don't know, maybe burn your cigarettes. What, you little brat? Although Aunt Ash could finally be the one who's just like, you know what, Babyface Antonio? Someone's been needing to spank you for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. And Mr. Whiskers is bigger than a baby at this point. So,
Mr. Whiskers, hold him down. His butt is time for a good old patting.
She's like, I've had Mr. Whiskers for 30 years. I've dealt with babies like you for longer than you've been alive.
And Babyface Antonio is just like, no, Ash, I'm gonna wet myself. And then Huck pops in. Hey, someone say something about wetting himself? Man, that is the best feeling in the world. Hey, what?
Yeah, Huck's been in the audience for all of these.
Yes. He's a special cameo guest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of... Are we saying that Aunt Ash is giving Babyface...
Aunt Ash might be the one to break Babyface Antonio.
Now, if that's the case, I think that's the biggest upset so far. Because, like, yeah, there's something in my head where I'm just like, this wrecking ball of a little baby at the end of the day is a little baby, and
Yeah.
only the right adult is going to, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, again, that lung capacity.
I mean, she can scream, and her lungs have become calloused over the years from cigarette smoking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at this image. I mean, it's really all down to this.
Captain versus Aunt Ash.
That's right. The captain of the captain and the skipper runs a restaurant called the Lucky Mermaid. And
The
Aunt
Hungry
Ash.
Mermaid.
What did I say? Yeah, the Hungry
I think
Mermaid.
you said the Lucky Mermaid.
Oh, okay. The Hungry Mermaid.
Yes.
And Aunt Ash of Uncle Alan and two duos that were split.
That's true. We've had a real mix and match thing this episode.
Yeah.
It's like that one episode of Animaniacs where they put all the characters in a blender and see who went with who.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's kind of the interesting thing about this madness bracket. But boy, I mean, you've got the unstoppable force and lung capacity that is Aunt Ash, but then you've got the plot armor and the sheer almost like a cat, like Mr. Whiskers with 9 lives. The captain doesn't go down.
That's true.
A really tough one. Makes you think.
Yes, it does. Now, if they were to square off, Captain, he's more easygoing.
You also got to imagine the captain is like an old school naval guy. He's gonna have these sort of old, maybe perhaps even outdated, chivalrous views. And this is perhaps a woman from his generation, even.
Yes.
Who, he's met his fair share of a heavy smoking lass in his day.
Yes.
He is definitely not gonna go hard, not gonna try too hard to win. Maybe he won't even view it as a competition. But regardless of the guard that he'll have down, that's never stopped him before.
He hasn't. He always has luck on his side.
Yeah. Luck or some other weird thing that we don't know about. And yeah, it's almost like I could imagine the Aunt Ash getting angry at the captain and having Mr. Whiskers go and attack him, but then Mr. Whiskers is just gonna pounce on his chest and he's gonna oh, here, kitty.
Oh, such a good kitty cat. We never see you on the 7 seas.
He's like, what? He never purrs. Is that him purring? And there's this horrible sound of
oh, he's so short and angry. He reminds me of the skipper. Oh, Aunt Ash, it's almost like you brought me Skipper's little brother. Aunt Ash. Of course, if they're out at sea, Aunt Ash will be weakened if she runs out of cigarettes.
Oh, that's true. If oh, I bet you want to see the old boat. Let me show you the steering wheel. A fine lady. And you too, little kitty. And then the boat's gonna take off. She's like, what? Where are we going? No, I have to be on shore. I have to be I have to be within a 1 mile radius of a gas station at all times.
I'm running out of cigarettes.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
she's weakened.
Yeah.
I almost think the winner would be the captain.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so sorry. I mean, everyone, all of these teams have big fans.
Yes.
And we have love for all of them. But at the end of the day, and it's through no malice or he plays it fair because he's not sure that he's even playing it at all. I believe that the first ever winner in this Unwanted Answers recurring cast madness bracket
Is the captain?
2024.
Yes.
That's right. It is none other than Captain. Let me make that look more like I want him to look. That's right. So what a time we went through today, starting from 16 characters
Yes.
down to that
And
final
some
four.
upsets too.
Oh yeah, Fluffy way further than I thought he'd make
Yes.
it. Gifted and talented Tyler cut out way
Numbers
earlier.
guy actually made it through.
Yeah, and Aunt Ash, don't count her out. Like final, like in the top two. I mean, that's
Yes.
amazing. So
You almost imagine, like, maybe once this competition was done, Aunt Ash to the captain was just like, so, I bet it gets lonely out on these 7 seas. Oh, it does, Aunt Ash. Oh, maybe there's something we can do about it.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Skipper, bring me a box of wine and a box of condoms to your room. What do you mean my room, Captain? Oh, Skipper, your room's already clean enough. And we're gonna get a little dirty.
And then you hear a foghorn from the ship, and there's like a circle fade out of the.
Yes,
fin.
it's like shaped like a heart.
Yeah.
And then post-credit scene, Skipper is just sitting on the poop deck, so disgusted. It's like,
Huck is cleaning it up.
yeah. It's just like, could this day get any worse? He just called out, Skipper, bring more condoms to your room.
And Huck's like, "Hoo-wee, I found some cat poop on the poop deck. Hoo-wee.
What you want
This
to
cat's
get all
awesome."
smell? Wait.